Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today we're going to be previewing the Houston Texans Week 8 matchup against the Carolina Panthers, where the number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, will go up against number 2 overall pick, CJ Stroud. I gotta say, I know, the schedule makers going into this game were looking at it and saying these are one of the worst teams in the NFL. Obviously, the Texans, they've, proceeded expectations. They're 3-3. They have the win total that they had last year. It's not even halfway through the season. CJ Stroud has been lights out. This team's been lights out. DeMeco Ryans has been a great head coach. I don't think the schedule makers or any NFL fans besides Texans fans or some other outsider NFL fans were thinking of this kind of football being played by the Houston Texans. Now, I think probably everybody was thinking the Carolina Panthers would have been better than the Houston Texans at this point. The Panthers are 0-6. The Texans are 3-3. But I don't care what either one of these two teams' records are. It's number 1 overall pick going up against number 2 overall pick. And not only do you have number 1 overall pick Bryce Young and number 2 overall pick CJ Stroud, you also have number 3 overall pick Will Anderson Jr. on the Houston Texans side at defensive end. You have a game where all 3 of the top 3 picks from the NFL draft last season are playing in the same game. And that's not national televised. It beats me. I don't understand it. I know it's the Texans and it's the Panthers. But yeah, Bryce Young, number 1 overall pick. CJ Stroud, number 2 overall pick. And number 3 overall pick, Will Anderson Jr., all in the same game. I don't know how the schedule makers didn't think to make this a national televised game. I really don't understand it. But anyways, moving on. Texans play the Panthers at 12 o'clock on Sunday, Central Time in Carolina. So it's going to be a road game for the Texans coming off the bye. I'm worried to see how this Texans team does after coming off the bye. I mean, when you're getting hot, when you get hot like that, when you're, the Texans started off 0-2, now they're 3-3. When you're 3-2 in your last, when you're 3-1 in your last 4 games, and you're playing that good, you're 3-1 in your last 4 games, and then you go into the bye. That worries me. I'm not worried that this Texans team won't win this game. I'm just worried about how they perform after going 3-1 in the last 4 games, and then now you go into the bye week. That concerns me just a little bit. But thank goodness we're playing the Carolina Panthers. But, I mean, Panthers, they're also coming off a bye week, so they've had some rest. So it's not like the Panthers played last week. But let's go over the Texans injury report real quick. So the Texans are without wide receiver Robert Woods. He is out with a foot injury, but good thing that Tank Dell is back with his concussion. So Tank Dell is going to be active alongside Nico Collins, so that's good for the Texans. Robert Woods is out, though, with a foot injury. Expect to return is Week 9. Then Sheldon Rankins is out with a knee injury. He's the Texans' starting defensive tackle. Xavier Hutchins, rookie wide receiver, is questionable with a foot injury as well. And then another foot injury. You have Brevin Jordan, who's our backup tight end, who's out with a foot injury against the Panthers. Also, you have Hassan Ridgeway still on IR with a calf injury. Eric Murray's still on IR with a knee injury. Charlie Heck is still physical, unable to perform with a foot injury. Then for some more IR players, Juice Scruggs is still on IR with a hamstring injury. Kendrick Green is still on IR with the meniscus. Derek Stingley Jr. is still on IR with the hamstring. Kenyon Green is still on IR with the shoulder labrum. And that's it for the Texans injury report as of right now. So CJ Stroud will have if Xavier Hutchinson is out, CJ has obviously Nico Collins and Tank Dell to throw the ball to. Then you would think the wide receiver 3 would be Noah Brown. The wide receiver 4 would be John Mechie. And that's really it for the Texans wide receiver room on Sunday. And then Dalton Schultz would be the tight end 1 still, and then Dalton would be tight end 1, and then Tegan Quantanaro would be the tight end 2 with Brevin Jordan out for the Texans. So, Yuzmer, your thoughts for this Texans game this Sunday. Give me your predictions. I want to know who you think wins, what you think the score is, who do you think puts up a good performance for the Texans. Before I get into my final predictions, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But let's get into it. So I think the Texans win this game 31-20. I think CJ Stroud shows the Carolina Panthers what they missed out on. This is CJ. I had a conversation with somebody about this on Wednesday about C.J. Stroud's revenge game, and they told me that C.J. Stroud already has his revenge. I mean, C.J. Stroud has already showed the Panthers what they've missed out on. C.J. Stroud has already showed the Panthers that he's significantly better than Bryce Young. That's what somebody told me. And not that I disagree with that person. Obviously, I agree. I also think C.J. Stroud has a better offense than the Carolina Panthers. That's another thing. But this is C.J. Stroud's chance to show the Panthers in person. I think he does it. I think he throws for over 300 passing yards. I have him throwing for 3 passing touchdowns. Not only is this his revenge game, but he's also going up against a terrible defense. I think Stroud takes advantage of that. I have the Texans scoring 4 touchdowns, 3 in the pass with C.J. Stroud. I'm going to go with a little bit of surprise here. I'm going to go with Tank Dell getting 2 touchdown receptions, and I have a touchdown reception for Dalton Schultz as well, and I have Dameon Pierce having a rushing touchdown for the Texans as well. And I have the Texans getting a field goal. I have the Texans winning this one 31-20. I think Stroud performs well. I think Tank Dell coming off the concussion will have an amazing game. I think Nico will have a good game, but I think he'll be double covered, which will mean more open targets for Tank Dell. I think he'll be the guy that Stroud targets most too, and Dalton Schultz as well. I think big games for Dalton Schultz and Tank Dell. I think Collins has a solid game as well. I think it's going to be a very interesting game to watch this Sunday. But like I said, I don't understand why it's not national televised. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section. That's the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Texans.